What is going on, everybody? The Nebraska Cornhuskers are undefeated, 3-0 after today's blowout victory versus the Houston Christian Huskies, 49-7. Join up, everybody. It's a victory Saturday, and all of them are the same. I know people are going to say, oh, it's only Houston Christian. They're not a very good team. We struggle in some areas. We'll get into that. We'll get into everything, trust me. But a win is a win is a win in Big Ten college football, and that's exactly what we did today. And we dominated, right? And again, there are some areas we need to improve. We will talk about everything, trust me. We will get to everything over the course of this live stream. But if we're talking about what we did well, we did a lot well. A lot well. So let's just start it off with the things that we did well. Again, we'll get to the things we need to improve because there's a lot of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, okay? But we did a lot of stuff today that is going to translate next week versus Michigan. And that's really the point of this stream today is we're going to get into Michigan. We're going to get into, the Michigan game, what we need to do well, what we need to probably improve going into that ballgame. Did I say, people are saying in the chat 59. I said 59-0, did I not? It's 59-7. That was the score, correct? 59. People are giving me some in the comment section. It was 59-7. Did I not say 59-7? Anyways, again, we blew them out. We blew them out. So obviously, let's start off with the pros. The best thing that I saw today, and this is something the media probably won't talk about. You're not going to hear about this on social media. The offensive line. The offensive line balled out. Okay, we gave up 0 sacks, which is it had to happen, right? Houston Christian does not have a good defensive line. They don't get pressure consistently. When you play an inferior team like this, you need to dominate. Okay, in every aspect, you need to dominate. So the offensive line, the reasons why Quinn Ives broke out in a big way and had a really good performance, the reason why Emmett Johnson played well, again, they were awesome and they did their own, they played well. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but the offensive line is the reason why they had those holes. And that's the reason why Quinn Ives officially had 85 yards in the ground. So that's the first game ball I'm giving to. Okay, I'm giving the game ball to the entire offensive line in the state of Nebraska. Okay, especially the interior play, I thought we played really, really well. Okay, second thing that I thought was awesome was, once again, our secondary was locked down. And yes, they were dink and dunking us a little bit as the game progressed. That's expected, right? But for the most part, they had no chunk plays through the air at all whatsoever. They had 0 chunk plays. The only plays really where, again, they got passing yards were, again, on these little dink and dunks, on these little out routes, these curl routes. But for the most part, it's the same thing that we've seen in the first 2 weeks. Okay, we were locked down. Cedar Wright had a really good ball game. I thought Jamarion in some instances played very well. So the secondary was great. Again, Dylan Raiola, yes, there are some issues with Dylan, and we'll talk about that for sure. But Dylan had a really good performance. Again, there's a lot of good from this game. And I know a lot of us, we wanted to see Nebraska win by, 70 points. We wanted to see a shutout. We wanted all these little things that probably didn't matter when it was all said and done. I understand. But a win's a win's a win. And we saw a lot more good than we saw bad today. And there's a lot of things that we're going to continue to improve as the year goes on. But we have a tough team next week against Michigan in a prove-it game. So we're probably going to move. We're going to flip the page pretty quickly here. There's a lot we can learn from Houston Christian, and there's also a lot we can't learn. Because what we did today, that was expected. When you play a bad team, when you play an FCS squad, you need to win like that. You need to dominate every single aspect. And that's what we did. But Houston Christian's an awful team, and they're worse than Akron. They couldn't move the football. They couldn't get stops on defense. They have no talent anywhere. Really, the only good player on that team was the running back. And I told you guys in my pregame videos, they got a heck of a running back. And I'll tell you that Zayshawn Edwards, he's not going to be a Houston Christian next year. He's going to be at an FCS program because he's a baller. And that little play that he made, that was a broken play, and he went all the way to the end zone, phenomenal. Game respects game. Game respects game. That was awesome. Well done. Well done by Zayshawn Edwards. But I thought besides that, the defense was lights out. We gave up 2 yards a carry today, guys. 2 yards a carry. If you get rid of that one play by Zayshawn Edwards, we probably only gave up 1.5 yards a carry. So I know the big conversational point going into the week was, can we stop the run versus Michigan? And that's still an issue. But the fact that we gave up 7 yards a carry versus Cincinnati, we gave up 6 yards a carry versus Akron last week to their running back one, which is unacceptable. And we go around this week and only give up 2 yards a carry. That's improvement. That's improvement. And we got to take improvement when we can get it. So I was impressed with the D-line in that aspect. as for the things we need to work on, I mean, there are a lot of them, right? And again, I will get to the comment section. We'll get to all the things that we need to improve, and we'll get to everything that you guys are saying. But as for the things that weren't phenomenal today, the pass rush. The pass rush by far is the biggest issue with this team, and it really isn't close. Really isn't close. Okay, we have some significant issues with this pass rush, where to the point where we only had 3 sacks today. We did not get to the quarterback last week versus Akron at a higher level. We did not get to the quarterback versus Cincinnati at a high level. What are we doing with the pass rush? I mean, we had a nice play there with the Samakola. He got to the quarterback. We had a nice little Marcus Watson-Trent play where he went right up the middle of the line. That's cool, but only having 3 sacks against the Huskies? We can do better than that. We all know we can do better than that. We all know we can do better than that. So I guess that was probably my main takeaway from the ball game was we need to dominate a lot in every single aspect. When you play a team like this ahead of a big week like we have in front of us, and when you play a team like Michigan, they will pick you apart if you cannot get to the quarterback. And it's not just getting to the quarterback with blitzing. You need to be able to get to the quarterback when you're only running 4 or running 3. Okay. When you blitz, absolutely you should be able to get the quarterback on the ground. That's not new. That's not a new concept. But when you only blitz 4, that's when the good defensive lines make the great defensive lines. That's when they really separate each other. And in my opinion, that's probably the biggest issue of this team. So that's the defensive line I thought was a little bit of a question mark. I mean, I told you guys when it comes to Dylan, I'm going to be nitpicky with Dylan. I'm going to be very nitpicky because I believe in my heart of hearts that Dylan Raiola could be a top 10 quarterback in college football. Even top 5, even Heisman. I believe that. And you can call me crazy. You can say I have lofty expectations. I understand it. But that's what I believe. So when it comes to Dylan, I'm always going to find ways that he can improve. And I thought Dylan had a really good day. I mean, you look at the stat sheet, he had 222 yards. He had a completion percentage of officially around 71%. He had 2 touchdowns. Like on paper, Dylan had a really, really good performance. Okay. But it's the accuracy issues with Dylan that I'm constantly dealing with. I need to see him improve. Okay, and I was really frustrated with the Dane Key ball on the first drive of the game where he underthrew Dane Key by about 15 yards. And if he threw him in the numbers, that would have been a walk-in touchdown. And again, it was a completion, but if you do that against Michigan, that ball is going to get picked off. So that's an issue. On the same drive, Dylan obviously threw that bad back shoulder fade ball that went straight to the back of the end zone. So I guess I'm disappointed with Dylan just simply because, when you go back to that Dane Key ball, TJ threw the exact same pass. It was probably the exact same play call. Instead of Dane Key being down the field, it was Cortez. He was against the exact same win, the exact same defense, and TJ threw him in the numbers. So if your backup quarterback was a true freshman can make that pass, why can't Dylan? And Dylan threw that, again, that was a wobbly ball too. It wasn't like a spiral. I don't know. I told you, I'm going to be nitpicky. Dylan had a great performance today. I want to make that incredibly, incredibly clear. Dylan played good. He did. He played good. But in your heart of hearts, do you believe Dylan's going to be just an average quarterback? Or do you believe he's going to be a top 10 quarterback? If you believe he's going to be a top 10 quarterback, we need to talk about stuff like this. If you think he's just going to be average, you can be perfectly okay with this performance. But I mean, I thought he was good. But I definitely wanted to see improvement from that deep ball accuracy specifically, which is probably the thing that was the worst about him last year, because there were times last year, again, you go to the Iowa game of last season, Jalen Lloyd post route overthrew him by a mile. And if he completed the pass to Jalen Lloyd on the first drive of the game, we would have beat Iowa probably. So obviously, again, that's just me nitpicking though. That's just me nitpicking. Like, well, we got to get that out of the way. Again, I thought the running backs all played very well. I was surprised with Emmett Johnson's workload. Like, Emmett was in there for 2 quarters today. He played 4 or 5 drives. I'm not a coach. I'm not EJ Barthel. I'm not Dana Holgorsen. But we know what EJ is. EJ's a really good running back. And it's not like EJ was going to become a better player today. He went out there and dominated, but it's not like you're going to develop against Houston Christian. The younger guys are going to develop, sure, but Emmett, who's a seasoned veteran, is not going to develop. So I guess I was confused with Emmett going out there and getting beat up a little bit. Like, once you get to the late second half or the first half and Emmett's still out there on the goal line, it's like, really? But Emmett played well. He didn't have that big breakout run, but I mean, averaging 6 yards a carry, you'll take that every single day of the week. Again, Quinn Ives. We need to have a conversation about Quinn. It's very clear that Quinn Ives is running back 2 right now. Very clear. And Mekhi Nelson did not play today. If you want me to speculate, it was probably a suspension. I don't know. I don't have a scoop there. I heard nothing about that. He was not in the injury report. So, I mean, we can draw conclusions here. We're all smart people. Mekhi Nelson probably was, I don't know what he did, but he didn't play. He didn't play a single snap. So that obviously hurts his odds of being running back 2 as the year progresses. But I mean, Quinn Ives played well. Quinn Ives is not a fast running back, but he is a bruiser. And he showed that today. He showed the ability to be a short yardage guy. He showed the ability that when there's an A gap and it's wide open, you're going to shoot through it and lower the boom on somebody. I was impressed with Quinn Ives from a pass blocking standpoint. I was impressed with him from actually catching the football and making some run after catch ability. So, Quinn Ives, I'm somebody who was harsh on Quinn. I'll be honest, I was harsh on him because, all throughout spring ball, we heard all this talk about how he's this great running back too. And I'm like, okay, we gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it. Well, I saw it today and I was impressed. Now, do I believe that he's a great running back too just yet? Probably not, given the fact that it's still Houston Christian, right? We haven't seen him play a real team yet and have success. But, I got to give one of the game balls to Quinn Ives. I was impressed. What can I say? I had a really good day. I thought Kenneth Williams gave us some good snaps in the running back core. I was impressed with Kenneth. So, again, I think we have a decent running back core, but again, it's about continuing to develop Quinn Ives. Isaiah Mozee didn't have a carry today, but Isaiah played well. Again, he had a nice run for catch. He had a nice punt return at the very end of the ball game. Isaiah really, I'm at that point with him where I don't even want to consider Isaiah Mozee a running back anymore. And I don't really consider him a wide receiver either, but this is the second consecutive game he hasn't got a carry. They utilize him more in the pass department. They utilize him more in the punt return. So he's just more of a utility knife. I just consider him more of a wide receiver than anything. Like, he's going to line up in the backfield, but he's just more so going to be a weapon with his hands rather than his legs. So, but I thought Isaiah played well too. As for the receivers, the status quo, right? Isaiah Hunter really didn't do much, but he's proved himself already in week 1, week 2. I guess one thing that won't be talked about by the media, and I'll have to rewatch the game to confirm this for sure, the receivers really didn't get separation in the second half, like at all. There'd be times, and we've already talked about how the offensive line had a really good day. There'd be times, specifically with TJ, where he'd have all day, and he'd be rolling. He'd be waiting for somebody to get open, and nobody would get open. So I'm at that point with Quinn Clark and Keelan Smith, and even Cortez to a certain extent, where all those guys have great hands and great jump ball ability, but those are depth pieces at wide receiver need to prove me that they can beat man coverage and that they can get open, because they have not proved that yet. So that's one main thing that I'm looking out for. Because they have not shown the ability to get open consistently. But other than that, the receivers played well, but the offensive line really MVPs of the ball game. I guess also, talking specifically about the penalties, I'm trying to pull up what the penalties. We had 4 penalties for 45 yards today. And again, that's not bad. It's not a deal breaker necessarily. It's not gonna ruin the game. We won by 50 points. But it's deeper than that. And that's one thing that I told you guys going into the game, is that it's all about the minute details. And if you struggle with penalties against Houston Christian, what's going to happen versus Michigan? And we didn't struggle with penalties today. We didn't struggle. 4 penalties is not struggling, but it's still not probably as good as it should have been. Right? We probably should have only had 1 penalty today. We had a pass interference that can't happen. We just got there early. We had a holding call that was not great. I believe we got a hands to the face as well. Again, it's small things. Clean it up. And I don't care if you're a starter or depth piece. We know how it is as Nebraska fans. In the Big Ten of this conference, they're going to be tic-tac against Nebraska, okay? They're going to call some penalties on us. So you've got to be as disciplined as possible to make sure the refs don't cheat us in any way. And I'm not one of those guys to be a conspiracy theorist. No, the refs are against Nebraska. I'm not that guy. But I'm also a believer that, more likely than not, the refs are not going to be on our side. So in order to change that, you can't change the refs. You got to change yourself. You can't control what the refs do. You got to change what you're doing. So I just think penalties are going to kind of be a recurring issue this year a little bit. So that's what I would say there as for the penalties. But again, overall, it was a good performance. We gave up that. Obviously, we all wanted the shutout. We didn't get it. Beggars can't be choosers. We all wanted to put up 70 points. We didn't get 70 points, but it was still a great win. It was still a great win, no question about it. But there's only so much we can learn. Because it was Houston Christian. There's only so much we can learn. They were letting EJ pad his stats. I also didn't like seeing him after the first quarter. Yeah, exactly. Like, again, EJ shouldn't have been out there. We know what EJ is. We know he's a great player, but he shouldn't have been out there after the first couple drives. No question about it. No question about it. Also, I wanna give myself a little bit of the pat on the back. I predicted score prediction 59-10. It was 59-7. So I was so close. I was so close. I wouldn't have won anything if it was 59-10 or 50, but I don't know. That would have been bragging rights. That would have been bragging rights if I accurately predicted the score. But I got very close. I got close enough. As for, one thing I will say, you got to take the ball away. That's one thing. That's one key of this defense. We do a really good job with Matt Rule in pass coverage and stopping the run. Okay. We do a really, really, really good job at that. But the reason why our defense necessarily hasn't been top 10 yet during Matt Rule has been because we can't take the ball away consistently. We can't get interceptions consistently. We can't get these forced fumbles consistently. And that changed today. And granted, Houston Christian has a massive fumbling issue. And that was clear going into the ball game. We knew they were going to put the ball on the turf. We knew they were going to, likely have, again, a couple balls that got on the turf, right? You need to recover them. And we did exactly that. We had that forced fumble we brought back to the house. We forced a fumble at the goal line. Derek Wacker did a really good job. Kamir Prescott got it. So we got 2 forced fumbles. Really impressive. That needs to happen consistently. The main thing with Nebraska, though, I need to see us punching the ball free. Both the times I rewatched us, taking the ball out, we weren't punching the ball. We just kind of got lucky, right? When Van Poppel forced that fumble free, it was because the quarterback was already in this throwing motion. Okay, it's not because Riley was really going at the football trying to get it free. It's just kind of we got lucky there. And as for Derek Wacker, he kind of got lucky too, where he wasn't poking the ball out, but in the way in which he was tackling, he poked it free. So that's one thing that this defense kind of needs to emphasize going forward: punch the ball out. Okay, and that's what the best teams do. The Eagles do it all the time in the NFL. Iowa does it all the time in the Big Ten. Punch the ball free, punch it out. Okay. As for interceptions, I've been disappointed in that aspect. Again, we're locked down in pass coverage, but you need to get more interceptions. Okay, having one against Cincinnati is cool, but you didn't have one last week. You need to have one this week. Okay, we need to get intercepted because those when balls are thrown in harm's way, you need to come down with it. Okay, we didn't do that today, so always trying to find things to improve. Again, put stuff in the comment section. We'll start getting the comments here in a second. Hit that like button on the stream. Also, what are we at likewise here on the stream? Hold on, what are we at likewise? We are at 20 likes. Let's get up to 40, guys. Hit that like button on the stream. We wore the All Reds today. What were your thoughts on the All Reds? I want to hear your thoughts. Now, again, it's all talk before the game, but like when you actually saw them today in the first quarter, when you saw them roll out with the All Reds, what'd you think? I mean, they kind of grew on me, but I wouldn't be mad if we never wore the All Reds again. I wouldn't be mad. If we beat Michigan, we would be ranked. We'll be close. Michigan, I don't know, because Michigan's going to be 23rd, 24th next week. If we beat Michigan, we'll be up there. I don't know if we'll be ranked though. We'll be close. But we could talk about that after we beat Michigan. If we beat Michigan, right? That's a conversational point. And we might as well just turn the page right now. We might as well let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Let's talk Michigan. We have not beat a ranked team. We have not beat a ranked team in a decade. Crazy, right? Is that not crazy to anybody else? We have not beat a ranked team in a decade. Okay. Last time we beat a ranked team was against Oregon. And Oregon ended up not being a very good team that season. It's overdue. Way too overdue. We got to beat a ranked team. And it starts next week. And Michigan's a heck of a squad. I mean, I think some people are going to go and start disrespecting Michigan, and they're going to say, well, they don't have their head coach, and they have a 5-star quarterback who's struggling. And you already know what the narrative's going to be. People are going to make it seem like the Michigan game is a lot more attainable than it actually is. And there's going to be some people, Nebraska fans specifically, who say Nebraska might win by 20. Nebraska might win by 30. Let's just set the expectation right now. It will be a close game next week. It will be a close game. No matter what, it will be a close game. Next week's game will go down the wire. it will likely come down to potentially the last possession. Whether we're on defense and we need to stop, or we're on offense, we need to go down and score. Okay. What do we need to do next week in order to have success, in order to win? And what did we take away from today's performance that we need to extrapolate onto next week, onto the rest of the season? To me, the number one key next week, and this is something we still don't have an answer to, is stopping the run. And yeah, we stopped the run today. We stopped the run today. We gave up 2 yards to carry. It was awesome. But we didn't stop the run against Cincinnati. We didn't stop the run versus Akron. And we're going to go ahead and play Michigan next week, who has consistently over the past decade have had one of the best rushing attacks in America. And this year they have a great offensive line once again, and they have a great running back in Justice Hayes. What can you do as a defensive line to stop the run? As a linebacker unit to stop the run? What can John Butler do to stop the run? I mean, that's the biggest key. And again, yes, we stopped the run today. Great. But there's only so much you can learn from Houston Christian. Not to discredit Houston Christian. I don't want to say, I'm not that type of guy to discredit them. Every win's a win in college football. Everyone should be treated with celebration and applause. Okay. And it's great that we won. And we won big. And we dominated. That's exactly what we should do. But there's only so much you can learn. I'm telling you right now, if we cannot stop the run versus Michigan next week, we're not going to win. I mean, that's it's simple as that. It's as simple as that. So that's number one. I mean, number two, we've only dealt with this once so far. But in these close game moments that we've historically struggled at, what are you going to do? Okay. Obviously, we beat Cincinnati in a close game, but when you go back to Cincinnati, if they didn't have that ball they threw in double coverage, they probably would have won. We have not shown the ability under Matt Rhule to win close games. So it's obviously very nice to beat Houston Christian by the amount we did today. Obviously nice to be Akron, but we're going to have close games the rest of the season. What can you do in those close moments to have believe in yourself, believe in the coaching staff, believe in your teammates to get it done? Right? What is Dylan Raiola going to do in a close moment? It's a good question. Because I'll tell you this right now, the offense had an opportunity versus Cincinnati on the first week of the year to close it out, and they didn't do it. For better or worse, we gave up a crucial sack at the end of the game, Elijah Pritchett, and we gave the ball back to their offense, and they drove down the field and almost won. So my question to you, and feel free to put this in the comment section, is if Dylan Raiola is in a close moment, is he going to have that X factor that the best quarterbacks have? Right? Is he going to have that winning play where, maybe the offense isn't perfect, and it's not going to be perfect next week, but sometimes quarterbacks alone can make your entire offense better with their play alone, right? We've learned a lot about Dylan within these first three weeks. I think Dylan's confirmed to most of us that he's a top 20 quarterback. I think he's proved that. The statistics definitely back that up. But I think it's very fair to say he's not top 10. He's definitely not top 5. The only way in my mind as a quarterback that you can make yourself an upper echelon guy is by getting that big win. So next week's definitely a big X factor for him. Definitely big. So again, it's going to be a very tough game. I mean, it's going to be very tough. And it's huge. It's not the reason why next week is the biggest game of the year. It's not because Michigan's the best team we'll play. USC could very well be a better team than Michigan. Penn State's definitely a better team than Michigan. So the reason why next week is the most important game isn't because they're the best. It's because if you somehow win, playoffs are real. The hype train is real. You got the monkey off your back. You get over the proverbial hump. Okay? The hump that we have not been able to get over in a decade. We'll see. But that's next week. And there's only so much you can learn from today. Today was a spring game. I mean, it kind of was, right? And we're sitting there in the second quarter, and we're kind of laughing at Houston Christian because they're terrible. They don't have talent. It's clear that they weren't meant to be on the same field as us today. And if the starters stayed out there the entire ballgame, we would have won 100-0. So there's only so much you can learn. Can we talk about that block by Haarberg? Which one? The one that he gave up on the running lane? I'm at the point with Haarberg. I know which one you're referring to. I'm at the point with Haarberg where he can't block. I mean, he just can't. He's like a Chancellor Brewington out there. And I know the play you're referring to. The play you're referring to is the one where he was in motion on a counter and he blew up a opposing edge rusher. I mean, yeah, that was a great block, but that's incredibly easy to do. When you have all of the momentum and you're running right toward a guy and he has no momentum, yeah, you're supposed to blow him up. But like if we're talking about Haarberg specifically and like if straight up run blocking, he's gotten exposed, like versus Akron and Houston Christian. And that's just the tough reality. Like, I mean, Haarberg can't block. And that should be expected. That should be expected because he's still learning the position, but I don't know. And I'm at the point, too, I'm very disappointed with the tight ends. Luke Lindenmeyer has played well. He had a drop today, but he's played well. But Haarberg clearly is not working. I mean, it's very evident. And we're all rooting for Haarberg. Like, I want to make that clear, too. We're all rooting for him. We all want Haarberg to succeed. But it's clear it's not working. He can't block very well. He definitely can't catch passes very well. He had his first completion today, but he's not a crisp route runner. He's not somebody who presses you with his route running ability. So I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted to see Haarberg run a little bit. I want to see him in the backfield maybe because I'm at the point with him. I want to see anything. I want to see anything with Haarberg. So, but I don't know. I haven't been too impressed though. And then Carter Nelson too. I don't know what's going on with Carter. I mean, we're at the point with him where we might need to have some tough conversations pretty quickly about Carter Nelson. With him being, I mean, people forget he was like a 5-star recruit almost. He had every offer in America. I mean, Georgia, Bama, Notre Dame, right? USC, you go down the list. The fact that Carter Nelson's tight end 3 on this roster in the second year, it's not just that he's tight end 3, but it's that when Carter Nelson's actually in the ball game, he has no impact. He's never open. He never gets targeted. He's not a dynamic blocker. It's clearly he isn't big enough. I don't know, man. I'm kind of disappointed with Carter Nelson because, I mean, he is so athletically gifted, but I don't know. I mean, he got figured out. He got figured out. Do you know this is Barney's first catching touchdown of his career? Of his career? That's nuts. That's actually nuts. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he had a couple touchdowns last year, but they're all rushing. Yeah, that is nuts. Hey, kudos to you, man. I did not know that. Did not know that. Did not know that whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, I thought the defensive line played pretty decent today, stopping the run. I mean, even some of our depth pieces played well. Like Hayden Petchak played well. He wasn't on the stat sheet, but he played well. Gabe Moore played well before he got injured. Gabe Moore, of course. So just some background here. This was the first time, and maybe the only time I went live during the game. So a bunch of us were here watching the game live. And Gabe Moore made a really, really good play. And I'm sitting here like hyping on the Gabe Moore hype train. I'm like, oh, Gabe Moore's going to be a stud for us. Oh, and then the camera cuts to him lying on the ground, getting tended to. And I'm like, dude. I mean, Gabe Moore just can't stay healthy. Just can't. I don't know what it is with him, man. And there's just some players like that in college. That's what you'll learn in college football. There are some players, no matter how talented they are, they will always get injured because their bodies aren't meant for this level of physicality. Like Teddy Prohaska is in that conversation. You go to, I would say, Gabe Irvin is in that conversation. Right. Even like a Taylor Martinez kind of is in that conversation, right? There's just some guys who are really good players, but when your body's not meant for football, it's not meant for football. So I don't know. Gabe Moore hopefully can stay healthy though. I say all that to say this. He's a really good player. Really good player. And I hope he's healthy going to next week because we know with Michigan, with their running attack, we need all hands on deck. We need every single defensive lineman we can get next week. It's going to be a tough ball game. And they're going to run right through that A gap and B gap. And if somebody's not playing well on the D line, you got to take him out and put somebody else in. So you need bodies. And guys are going to get worn tore. So it would have been really nice to have Gabe more active. I don't know how serious his injury was. He walked off on his own power, but not something you want to see, right? From somebody who has really, really high upside. Incredibly high upside, I would even add. So Gabe Moore, I'm hoping he's healthy because that's a heck of a ball player. Heck of a ball player. All right, start putting stuff in the comment section. We'll get exclusively into the comment section. I want to see what you guys have to say about the ball game, everything that you learned. Too worried about rankings. Rankings don't mean anything. Yeah, I mean, rankings do mean a lot. I mean, they do, because rankings control narratives, and narratives control bowl games and who gets in the College Football Playoff. So the whole thing, like, rankings don't matter. They do matter. They do, because rankings control new rankings. Okay, rankings control narratives. So rankings absolutely matter. Okay, preseason rankings matter. Although maybe when you're watching a game, they don't matter. Like, oh, maybe somebody's ranked the 4th best team preseason. They're not actually the 4th best team, but they control narrative, so they do matter. So I definitely am a believer that rankings matter for sure. No question about it. No question about it. Somebody said Underwood had 100 rushing yards today. You're kidding. You're kidding. Let's pull this up. Michigan, let's look up what Bryce Underwood had today. Through the ground. If he had, I'm very nervous if he had over 100 rushing yards. Granted, it's against Central Michigan. Yeah, man, that's a problem. Again, they got 2 productive running backs in Justice Hayes and Jordan Marshall, and they got a quarterback who can scramble, man. Granted, again, it's against Central Michigan, but still. Yeah, it's going to be a problem next week, man. And we historically have had a really, really tough time stopping mobile high quarterbacks. I mean, you go back to week 1, right? I mean, that was literally Cincinnati's entire offense. They couldn't throw the football. They just scrambled every single time with Sorsby, and he was a dog. So, simply put, I mean, if Bryce Underwood's had 100 rushing yards today, yeah, that's got to be a key to the game. That's got to be a key to the game. No question. No question. I bet Matt Rule runs the boys this week. Harsh week of practice. Oh, 100%. And I bet you Matt Rule is definitely not satisfied with today's performance. I mean, I would love to be a fly on the wall, but I bet you he was not satisfied. Giving up that touchdown in the 3rd quarter, that's unacceptable. The way we ended the first half, was pathetic. I mean, it was bad, right? Where they rolled down the field pretty easily on us, and thank goodness they had a terrible snap that went over the head of their quarterback, or else they probably would have scored a field goal. And then we got the ball back. We were trying to run a 1-minute drill, and we had a drop pass by Jacory Barney. Then we had a holding penalty on Justin Evans, and then Dylan Riley got sacked. Or he was right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he got sacked officially, but yeah, I mean, that can't happen. So I guarantee you that Matt Rule was kind of mad at those boys at halftime, at least. And that's why I try to preach to you guys. The standard's different this year. Okay. And this is why I'm always trying to nitpick things. I'm always trying to find things to improve. It's not because I'm a pessimist. Some people might think that I'm very much an optimist, if you follow me. But the reason why I'm always trying to nitpick is because that's what Matt Rule does. That's what the coaching staff does, because they're always trying to improve. They're never satisfied. So why, as fans, are we ever going to be satisfied? We always need to find ways to improve. We always need to get better in certain aspects. So the way that we ended the first half was not acceptable. Us going down the first drive of the game, getting inside the 10-yard line and not scoring a touchdown and kicking a field goal, that's unacceptable. Being at a 4th down and 1 with Kenneth Williams going right the middle and not giving him a good block, and the fact he got stuffed, unacceptable. All those things are unacceptable, and we need to continue to improve. Okay. I was happy to see Cortez Mills have a great day receiving. Yeah, Cortez is going to be a dog, man. And I thought it was incredibly fitting. That Cortez Mills' first receiving touchdown was from TJ Lateef, because those two are going to be a dynamic duo for years to come. That TJ to Cortez duo. It's going to be fun to watch, man. I mean, those two are incredibly fun players. With TJ's run ability, dual threat ability, make plays out of nothing, with Cortez's ability to mosh you, to head tap you, as the kids say. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm starting to care only about Josh Pate's poll. I don't know. I mean, Josh Pate's wrong about a lot, too. I mean, Josh Pate was on record saying that DJ Lagway is the best quarterback in college football. Josh Pate may go down as having the worst playoff production of all time. I want to pull this up for you guys, because I tweeted about this probably 5 days ago, before everything happened in the world, as we all know. I want to show you guys this. So this was Josh Pate's playoff prediction. Look at this. You have Florida in there. Yeah, that's not happening. You got Arizona State in there. That's not happening. You got Texas in there. Well, I don't know, but they're struggling. You got Clemson in there. Well, they just lost today. They had their second loss of the season. You got Boise State in there. They're terrible. And you got us in there, which, I mean, that probably might age poorly too. Let's be real. So I don't know. Josh Pate, he definitely knows ball, but yeah, that was a bad one. That was a bad one for him. No question about it. No question about it. Who's been our best defensive transfer? It's been Andrew Marshall. That's not the sexy pick. That's not the beautiful pick, but it's been Andrew Marshall. And I don't think it's debatable, frankly. Like, Desan's been good, but Desan only has 1 sack in 3 games. But he's been good. Like, Winery's been good, but Winery has not been better than Marshall. Like, Marquez Watson trying a really good day today, but he's not, like, Marshall's been shut down. He's been locked down. So I've been really impressed with Andrew Marshall. Another guy that doesn't get enough love from the fan base. People need to start talking about Marshall more, because he's grading out really well according to all sites. Statistics are really good. I think Andrew Marshall, funny enough, was our tackling leader today too. So he's a lockdown corner who's productive in man coverage, zone coverage. He's incredibly physical. He can press you as well. Out of all the players on the team, we haven't seen it yet, but he probably has the best interception ability besides Malcolm Hartzog. He's a dog, man. He's a dog. Speaking of Malcolm Hartzog, he did not play today. So that was something I'm not too shocked by, but it would have been nice to see Malcolm for like 1 drive, but I'm not shocked by it. Do you think Eric Ingerson will ever play? Probably not. And again, I'm Eric Ingerson's #1 fan. I went to elementary school with Eric. That's my day one. Me and Eric used to be on the football field in 2nd grade, playing touch football. So that's my guy, but I doubt it. I'm still worried about a run defense. I agree, Mr. Raj. I agree. And Mr. Raj, I'm glad to hear from you, my man. You are a true OG of the channel. True OG. Mr. Raj was watching me when I had like 50 subscribers. So, Mr. Raj, you are a true OG. Thank you. Great investment on your hand. But it's great to hear from you. But I agree with you. Who do you think running back 2 is? I mean, it's clearly Quinn Ives. No question about it. It's Quinn Ives. Because I'm not here to speculate, but I'm of the belief that probably Mekhi Nelson was suspended today. Like, he didn't play a single snap, but he wasn't on the injury report. It's very, very clear to me that he was probably suspended. So I don't know, but it's definitely Quinn Ives. Slumps. What up, Josh? Hey, man. Hope you're doing well. Good to hear from you, Josh. Andrew Marshall is the best defensive transfer this year so far. Yeah, 100%. Andrew's been lights out. He's been playing well. Did TJ play too good? I mean, TJ just does what TJ does, man. I mean, this is TJ. Get used to it. He's a heck of a ball player. He's a great quarterback, and Nebraska has to be prepared to bat for him in the transfer portal. They have to be prepared. Now, again, I will tell you this right now, and this is why you watch the channel. This is why you get these inside scoops, supposedly. I was on the phone. It was Thursday afternoon with somebody very close to TJ. You can make your assumption on who that is. I shouldn't reveal who it is. I accidentally did in one of my videos. But again, I talked to somebody who's very close to TJ a lot, and he obviously watched my video, and I was talking about whether or not TJ is going to stay here long term. And he told me, and again, this is a direct source, that TJ's a gamer, man. He doesn't care about the money. TJ's not in it for the money. TJ's not even in it for the playing time. He just wants to go out there and compete. And I'll give you guys 2 examples of this. TJ Lateef in high school he could have transferred and went to the best high school in California. He could have went to Mater Dei. He could have went to Sierra Canyon. Okay, he could have went over to Nevada, go over to Bishop Gorman, and he didn't do any of that. Okay, he stayed put at Orange Lutheran, which was a Lutheran school in Orange County, and he made them one of the best teams in America, because that's what TJ Lateef does. He is loyal. Okay, so that's the first thing I'll tell you, and that's what he told me. And the second thing that I learned, and I forgot this, but we forget that 1 year ago today, we were having conversations on this very channel that TJ Lateef would decommit, because TJ Lateef was having a phenomenal year of high school football. Teams all around America were calling him, trying to get him to flip. It was very clear that at Nebraska, he was going to have to wait his 2 years. So we were having conversations literally 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, that, okay, TJ's going to flip to another school. And that didn't happen. So there are 2 very clear examples of TJ being rumored to go elsewhere, whether it's decommitting from Nebraska or transferring high schools, and he didn't do it. So that tells you everything you need to know about TJ Lateef's character and the type of player he is and that type of man he is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's a guarantee that TJ Lateef's on the roster next season, because that would be foolish. Things change. Transfer portal, we know how it is. Teams get desperate. And I would not be shocked if garbage can UCLA, who's 0-3 on the year, and they're about to fire their coach, let's say they bring in a new guy, and they say, you know what, let's bring in TJ. And they pay him a lot of money. Would not be shocked if that happens. Nebraska has to be prepared, and they have to be willing to match it. You have to believe in him, because it's very clear from what we've seen today that TJ Lateef is the future of this program. I don't think that's crazy. TJ Lateef is the truth. And I told you guys this. In the summer, and a lot of people laughed at me. And I told you guys, with the conversations that I've had with people close to TJ, there is a lot of genuine belief that if TJ were to ever get on the field in a winning moment, God forbid Dylan gets benched, or that's never going to happen, but if Dylan gets banged up and TJ has to go out there and win us a football game against a really good team, there is a lot of belief that TJ can do that. And in the exact same grain, there's a lot of belief that TJ ever gets out there in a winning moment and he plays well, in the same way that Tom Brady did, he's never going to get off the field. They're never going to put him on the sideline. So that should get you excited. That should get you excited, because TJ's a gamer. But I also want to make this very clear. TJ's not ready. He's not ready. He balled out today. He balled out versus Akron, but those teams are bad. Okay, we have not seen TJ against a good team yet. We have not seen him play meaningful snaps. So just because he played well today doesn't mean, if you were to go out there versus Michigan, he's going to play well. But definitely a conversational point. But I know what's going to happen. I'm very familiar with what's going to happen. There will be Nebraska fans, inevitably, who, the second something goes wrong with Dylan, or maybe he's not having the best performance, they're going to start calling for TJ, and they're saying, get TJ in there. I know what's going to happen. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. So, but I just want to make it very clear to everybody that he's not ready. He's not ready. Great quarterback, but he's not ready. So, all right, keep putting stuff in the comment section, guys. Again, we'll get to everybody's comments. If you guys want your comment read first, put in a super chat. Everybody, hit that like button on the stream. How many likes do we have on the stream right now? Hold on. How many likes we got? We are at almost 50. Let's get up to 70. Hit the like button on the stream. If you're somehow watching and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get back to the comment section. What does Williams-Nwaneri have to do to become a starter? It's a great question. Well, he's already kind of starting. I mean, to begin with. I mean, they rotate him in the ball game so much where he's already kind of starting. But I think he's going to be a starter next week. I think he should be. I have no idea why Cameron Lenhart is still starting on our football team. I've had it with Cam. I mean, I'm done. I'm done with him, man. Cameron Lenhart is once again on the milk carton. I'm sick of it. I'm really, really sick of it. Williams has outplayed him. Williams has even outplayed Keona Davis. So I think Williams absolutely should start. That's just me, though. But Williams got to figure it out off the field. Like, he's had some off the field small issues, nothing major, but some small things off the field. But he's dominating practice too. He had a really good fall ball. He had a really good practice last week, the week before. But again, he got to figure out kind of the small things off the field, right? Like, again, it's not a big deal, so I'll just tell you. We grade every single player has to grade themselves after every performance. It happens on Sunday. And it was going into last week versus Akron. It was right after the Cincinnati game. On that Sunday, you're supposed to bring your iPad and grade yourself and watch your film. And Williams-Nwaneri did not do that, and he was sent home. So that was not like a game. That was not like he was not suspended by any means. It was not like a super big disciplinary thing. But like, as a great player, you need to do all the small things, and he didn't do that. But that's probably why he's not starting yet. It's because he's playing well, but again, you got to figure out off the field. And for better or worse, Cameron Lenhart is better off the field. Cameron Lenhart's not a better player, but Cameron Lenhart's better off the field. So just take that for what it's worth. Love to see glaring issues of the past finally get shored up, O-line, special teams, etc. I agree with you. But again, special teams isn't perfect. I mean, I told you guys on the live today too, whenever we fix one issue, another issue just kind of pops up. It always happens. So, for example, today, We obviously didn't see Archie once, which is great. I don't want to see Archie. I know everybody loves Archie. Personally, I never want to see him. I don't want to see Archie play. I don't want to see him suit up because I'd rather never punt. We obviously did a really good job with the field goals last week, this week. We didn't miss one. So the special teams looks good. We have some good returns in there too. But we kicked the ball out of bounds. Again, we can never be perfect for whatever reason. It's not that hard. Out of all the things in special teams, whether it's snapping, holding, returning, going down and tackling the opposing return man, kicking the ball in bounds on a kickoff is probably the easiest of the bunch. So the fact that that's been a big problem, and it's been a recurring problem, is incredibly concerning. And I'm to the point where I do not believe John Hull or Tristan Avano. I don't have zero confidence in them. And it's not also that they kick the ball out of bounds. It's the fact that they can't kick the ball to the back of the end zone. When they do kick it inbounds on a kickoff, they kick it to the 5-yard line or the 10-yard line, and they give the opposing return man an opportunity. How can we not have a kicker on a roster who can successfully kick it out of the back of the end zone? It's not that hard. These guys have been doing it since middle school. And I know people are going to say, oh, we should put Kyle Keenan back there and have him do kickoffs. Well, we absolutely shouldn't because if he does go back there, a lot of times that's when kickers get injured. It's on kickoffs because that's when you're using your entire leg, and that's usually when you strain your hamstring or your groin. Those are usually what happens. So, yeah, we should not put Kyle Keenan back there because if Kyle Keenan has kickoffs, he might be more successful, but he might get injured. And if Kyle Keenan gets injured, oh my gosh, we have a kicking issue, right? And it just creates bigger holes. You feel me? So, I mean, I don't know who it is. I mean, Tristan Avano, John Hull. I know John Hull was the one who did it today. Tristan Avano did it against Cincinnati. You got to figure it out. Should Rex Guthrie be a starter? No. I mean, Rex played good today, but again, he still has some issues, specifically in man coverage. He has some issues here, but he's a physical player. He reminds me a lot of Isaac Gifford, for better or worse. He gives me Isaac Gifford vibes. But he plays the exact same position as Deshaun Singleton. Okay, when Deshaun Singleton's in the ball game, and when you take him out and put in Rex Guthrie, it is a massive, dramatic change. It is a dramatic downgrade. So Rex Guthrie's a good player and he has potential, but not this year. He's not ready this year to start. He can be a very nice depth piece for us, but he's not ready to start. No. Crazy thing is, the backup quarterback is the most popular player on the team. That's always the case, and that's not new. That's not new, right? When Adrian Martinez was here, who was the most popular player on the team? It was Luke McCaffrey. Logan Smollers was one of the most popular players on the team not too long ago. You just kind of go down the line. Ron Kellogg, Tommy Armstrong when he was a backup to Taylor Martinez. Even in 2017, when we had Tanner Lee, who was the most popular player on the team? Tristan Gebbia, who was garbage. It's just kind of what happens because people always love what can be rather than what is. Okay, they like to believe, they like to think about things that we haven't seen yet, right? For better or worse. So, was Larry Tarver on the field at all? I did not see him. He played a little bit at the very end of the game. I'll have to rewatch specifically what happened. I thought the secondary played well at the end of the game. They got dinked and dunked a little bit. I thought Donnie Jones had a poor game. I thought Donnie Jones really kind of struggled at times, especially in man. But I thought overall, Jeremiah Charles played decent. Amari Sanders I don't think Amari Sanders was targeted once. I thought Amari Sanders had some good reps. I'm sure Larry played a couple snaps. Larry played well last week versus Akron. Larry played really well. So I think we have a very, very much, we have a lot of talent in the secondary, but a lot of those guys are unproven for sure. And you saw that again today. I think there's a more of a general statement in response to him saying the fans will call for TJ. You're not talking to me. Is there a situation where we beat Michigan next week and are not ranked? 100%. I think that's very probable that we beat Michigan. I'm not saying it's probable that we beat Michigan, but I'm saying it's probable that if we in fact do beat Michigan, it's more likely that we are not ranked than if we are. Simply because right now, we are the 35th team in America according to the AP poll. Michigan is 23, 24? So, yeah, Michigan's a ranked team, but are we really going to jump up 10 spots by being the number 23 team in America? I don't think so. We're going to be on a lot more polls. We're going to get a lot of votes. We'll probably be on the outside looking in, But I mean, unfortunately, with Michigan losing to Oklahoma, it probably ruins us jumping up to being ranked. I could be wrong. Again, I think we will be right on the line. If we beat Michigan next week, and obviously it all depends on how well we beat them. Like if we beat them in a close game, we won't be ranked. No. But if we blow them out, we beat them by 2 touchdowns, yeah, we'll be ranked. There's a lot of variables. But I'd say in my mind, if we beat Michigan, it'll be a close game. It'll probably be a 3-point win. Okay. I do not believe that a 3-point win against the number 23 team in America is good enough to raise us 10 spots to become ranked. You feel me? That's just kind of my reasoning. And again, I would love to be ranked as quick as possible, but it's nothing we can control. I mean, obviously you want to go out there and beat them by as much as possible, but Michigan losing to Oklahoma really hurt us in a lot of aspects. Clemson will not be ranked after that loss. No, Clemson's terrible. Clemson's terrible. Do you know why Gramstad got in the game instead of Marcus Davila? Because Gramstad right now is quarterback 3 and Marcus is quarterback 4. But Marcos played the very end of the ballgame. Like I believe the very, very, very last drive after the 2-minute warning, Marcos was in there. I don't believe he threw a pass, but Marcos played. So yeah, Marcos is just very raw. I mean, that's the problem. Like I'm not. People are like giving up on Marcus Davila. I'm not there. Like Marcos is gonna be a really good player. He's just raw. I mean, it takes time. It takes time. So, but he's gonna be fine. But I'm at the point with Marcos where I do believe he'll transfer out when it's all said and done. Obviously, don't want to jump to conclusions, but I mean, Marcos, I mean, it's very clear what's happening with our quarterback room. Very clear what the plan is, right? Dylan's going to be the guy next year. TJ is going to be the guy in 27. TJ is probably going to be the guy in 28. And then you give it over to Trey Taylor. That's probably what it's going to be. And I think that's a really good outcome. So there's just not really room for Marcos. And I don't know if he's really going to want to be a third string quarterback next year, right? Like, so I do think Marcos is probably not going to be here next year, unfortunately. That's just kind of the way it rolls. You know, in other terms, this quarterback room's not big enough for the two of them, meaning it's not big enough for both TJ and Marcos. One of those guys got to go. It's clear that TJ's beat him out, so probably means that Marcos won't be here. But again, don't want to jump to conclusions, but if and when Marcos leaves in the portal, don't be like incredibly shocked, right? Because it's a business decision for him specifically. Like he wants to play, I don't blame him. Everybody wants to play, you know. And if you're not going to play within the first, within a certain amount of time, you might as well not be here. I don't blame you if you go transfer out. I don't blame you. So I do not blame you one bit. All right, guys, put your comments down below. Again, we'll get to everything. We'll get to everything. Hold on, I gotta type some. I'm texting with Mekhi Nelson's dad here real quick. I'm asking him what happened with his son today, because again that was kind of surprising. That was probably the biggest storyline. I'm not sure. I want to check this real quick. I'm sure maybe Matt Rule mentioned it in the press conference about Mekhi Nelson. Let me mention this real quick. Let me mention this. Yeah, Mekhi Nelson, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything around Mekhi Nelson anywhere. Weird, man. Very, very, very odd. Very odd. Tennessee beating Georgia 21-7. Take back everything said about Aguilar. Oh, you're right. Shoot, man, he might be a really good player. He might be a baller. He might. I'm not watching the game. Obviously, I'm doing this. It's on my screen over here. I got Tennessee, Georgia, and I got Penn State, Villanova, and I got one over here on ESPN. I forget what game that is, but that's crazy. I mean, let's not talk crazy too far though, man, because it's still the first quarter. But yeah, I don't know. That's crazy though. Aguilar, okay, he might be a baller. You might be right. You might be right. Yeah, I don't know. Did Matt Rule say anything? I want to see. Did Matt Rule say anything in this press conference? I'm going to go to Sam McEwen's Twitter right now because I did not watch the press conference, but I'm very confused around Mekhi Nelson. That was, again, that was the most confusing thing. Yeah, there was no mention of Mekhi anywhere. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would assume he was probably suspended. I mean, this is, it leads me to believe. Again, I don't have a source there. I have no information on this. But if you're not on the injury report and you practice during the week and you were running back 2 going to the day and you didn't play a single snap and Connor Booth was playing over you, like, yeah, you probably were suspended. I don't know. I don't know if he was on the sideline wearing pads or anything. That probably would have been a big indication. So that is a big issue, though. If he was in fact suspended, that's an issue. But again, I don't know there. I mean, I'm sure Matt Rule clarified probably during his Monday press conference. He'll probably clarify pretty quickly. All right, guys, give me your offensive and defensive MVPs today. I want to ask you guys one thing, and we'll continue this live. Give me your offensive and defensive MVPs, and give me the biggest thing that you were happy with today, but also the biggest thing that you need to see improve going into Michigan. That's what I want to, because I want to pick your brains a little bit. My man Emerson says UCLA is bad, but they started off horrible last year too. Yeah, again, I'm not freaking out on UCLA just yet because they have talent, man, and I do believe they're probably going to fire their coach pretty quickly here. They should at least. So UCLA could be a different team we play. We play them week 11, so it's going to be a different team, and they're going to improve. It's hard not to improve if they're them. So again, I that will probably go down as my worst prediction of the year. I predicted us to lose to UCLA. I thought UCLA was going to be a lot better, but it could still happen. But again, I'm not freaking out about UCLA just yet because they're going to improve. They're going to be a lot better, and it's still going to be a tough game with all the elements. And we lost to UCLA last season, and they were not good last season. Okay, we lost them last year, so we shouldn't be shocked by any of this whatsoever. But yep. Yeah, no update on Mekhi Nelson whatsoever. I hear nothing. Let me hold on. I need to check the scores around America real quick. That's crazy that Georgia's up though. Let's see. Anything going on right now? I'll show you guys the scores real quick. Penn State struggling against Nova. 2 games that are delayed. Michigan State struggling against Youngstown. We should watch that game a little bit just because we play Michigan State in 2 weeks. So we got to get some information on them. That's about. Ooh, look at our foes. Cincinnati up big. Granted, Cincinnati is playing the worst team in the history of the world in Northwestern State, and Northwestern State had Minnesota put up like 70 on them last week. So don't be like, oh, Cincinnati's so good. Like, Cincinnati's not good, guys. They're just playing a really bad team. Cincinnati barely beat Bowling Green last week. They beat them 34-20. Like, Cincinnati's not good. We should have beat them by a lot more. Should have beat them by a lot more. That's all I'm gonna say there. That's a loop. I put myself on the screen. That's funny. All right, back in the comment section here. Let's get back to it. What do you think about the secondary? I mean, they played well. I mean, Marquez Buford's had a really good season too. People don't talk about him. He's always kind of an underrated part of our team. But Buford's play well. Deshaun Singleton's been great every single game. Sear, I mean, it's a really good unit, and that's what you'd expect with Addison Williams, and you'd expect that with John Butler. So that's clearly, most evidently, the strength of this team. This is secondary, and the secondary is the best positional group. I would venture to say the secondary is better than the receiver core. That might sound crazy to some, but I would venture to say that with a lot of confidence. So I'm starting to think 10-2 is a real possibility, if anything, because of how poor some teams in our schedule are looking. Yeah, I still am thinking 9 wins. I said 9 wins at the start of the year. I'm still going to stick with 9 wins. Like, we're going to have a lot of success this season, but next week's going to be tough. And I have a lot of pessimism about next week. I have some optimism, but I have a lot of pessimism. I think we have to acknowledge that Penn State's a loss. We have to acknowledge that it's going to be very hard for Nebraska to to beat Iowa, Minnesota, and Michigan State. All 3 of those games are kind of trap games. So we got some easier games. Like, again, I'll tell you right now, we should beat Northwestern. We should beat Maryland. We should beat UCLA. That's 6 right there. That's easy 6. But the other games after that start to get tough. The Michigan States, the Michigans, the Penn States, the Iowas, the Minnesotas, and the USCs. Like, those are all kind of jump up games. So I'm still going to stick with my prediction. Michigan's going to be tough, and obviously I don't want to spoil my prediction, but it's going to be a tough game. Penn State will be a loss probably, and I still think we're going to lose one game we probably shouldn't. And I'm going away from my UCLA pick, but we might lose against Minnesota. So I'm still going to stick with 9. But also, is our schedule looking a lot easier than what it was? It is, but it hurts our playoff odds. Where like if we had a really tough schedule and we went 10-2, we would make the playoffs for sure. But with our really, really easy schedule, objectively, and if we go 10-2, we're not going to make the playoffs because in that case, we'll probably only have one rank win. So again, there's always pros and cons to everything. At the end of the day, it's always pros and cons to literally everything. Do you think the Kansas State coach is getting fired? Kielman, yeah, I do think he will get fired, and I love him. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good dude. So I feel bad saying that I think he's going to get fired. But come on, like almost losing to North Dakota. You're 1-3 on the year. Yeah, I mean they're bad this year, but they might give him the benefit of the doubt. They might give him like Mike Norvell treatment. I think obviously with Mike Norvell winning 2 games last year. Granted, Kielman's never been to the playoffs before, like Norvell never been to the playoffs before. Norvell was coming off of an undefeated regular season year, so. Norvell obviously had a lot more background of success than Kielman. So Kielman's been there forever. So I think they're going to give him a lot more benefit of the doubt. So should he be fired? Probably, but they probably won't because he's been there for so long. Offensive MVP was Dane. I could venture to say that Dane played well. Dane, I'd say either Dane or I'd just say Quinn Ives or the entire offensive line. I think those guys get MVP game balls. Dylan's stat prediction against Michigan. Well, I'm gonna plead the fifth for 2 reasons. Number one, I gotta save that for a video. Number 2, I have no idea. I gotta dive into Michigan. I gotta dive into the film to have an educated guess. I'm very happy with Quinn Ives. Yeah, he had a really good game. Yeah, I was impressed with Marcus Watson-Trent. I think this was something that he needed to do. He struggled against Cincinnati. He struggled against Akron. We expected him to be the tackle leader of this team, so for him to kind of play a lot better this week, he wasn't perfect, but having that sack was huge. He was all around the football. Yeah, I was impressed with him. I was impressed. Nwaneri defensive MVP, I think that's fair. Nwaneri, he didn't get a sack today, but obviously having that scoop and score, he had a couple pressures in there. He should have had that sack that Deshaun McCullough ended up getting, but he whiffed on the quarterback. But yeah, Nwaneri's been really good. And Nwaneri, you could arguably say, was the MVP last week and the week before. So I'm very, very excited with Nwaneri. Very excited. My prediction's 11-1, sticking to it. I hope you're right, my man. I hope you're right. We got to see a lot of improvement on this team, though. Cal versus Minnesota prediction. Yeah, I started off the week thinking Minnesota was going to win, but I'm to the point where I believe it's going to be Cal. I would expect Cal. I'm thinking probably Cal 35-20-24. Cal got some weapons. And their quarterback's tough, man. They got a tough 5-star quarterback. Quinn Ives leading rusher today. Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, shout out to Quinn Ives. This is coming from somebody who's very hard on him. I'm very, very impressed with him and very proud of him for what he's doing. And I hope he continues to do that next week. Our red zone efficiency was bad again. Statistically, our red zone efficiency was good, but yeah, stalling out on the first drive of the game and kicking a field goal wasn't awesome. And obviously, what we did when we were at 4th down and 1 and we went forward and didn't get it right, that's not good enough. But granted, that was with the 5th stringers. So yeah, but I agree. The red zone play calling is kind of an issue, and it's not really a play calling; it's the execution. Where was Nyziah? I mean, he had 1 catch. I don't know. I mean, Nyziah's done so much in 2 games. I'm not freaking out if he takes this one off. And they were rotating so many wide receivers in there. Like Nyziah didn't get too many snaps today. Rex Guthrie was defensive LVP. It was rough watching him. I mean, I didn't think he was terrible, but I mean, certainly he wasn't that good. So again, he's a very young player. He's never really played in games like this before. Yeah, Ives was good, man. Ives was really good. Do you think South Florida can pull off the Triple Crown and upset Miami? I mean, I hope so. But it's going to be a tough game for them. Miami is a lot better than Florida. a lot better. And the fact that they walked out Florida on a field goal, that's cool, but Miami's got talent everywhere. Running back, quarterback, defense is looking really stout for them. So I'd say the Hurricanes win, unfortunately, although I'm rooting like heck for South Florida, no question about it. How do we not score off that after that fumble? Pissed me off. Which fumble? Oh yeah, the fumble we got at the goal line. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, I mean that was on the offensive line. The offensive line had a really good day, but on that drive specifically, there were a bunch of third stringers in there, and they were just creating no push. So that was on the O line. It wasn't on Kent Williams. It wasn't on the play calling, but yeah, it was on the O line. Is John Butler not blitzing enough? I think he's blitzing perfectly fine enough. The problem isn't the blitzing. The problem is we don't get pressure when we're only blitzing 4. Like on a normal play where you're running cover 2 and you're only blitzing the standard 3 or 4 guys, you need to get pressure. Okay, it shouldn't be where the only time you can ever get pressure is when you actually have a blitz. So that's just what I would say. Eli, what's up, Eli? What is up, my man? He says, missed the first part of your stream. What was your reaction to the Houston Christian touchdown? I mean, great plays happen, and that's a great player. I mean, he's not going to be a Houston Christian next year. So the main thing I was disappointed with was Jalen George got in the backfield and made a really good play, and he missed a tackle. And we had multiple times the defensive line today just couldn't tackle. Our defensive line could not tackle today. So that's the main thing I was disappointed with on the play. But as for him making a really good adjustment, going to the left-hand side of the field, breaking free, I respect it. I mean, it was a broken play. They made something happen. You can't be perfect all the time, but obviously you would have liked to pitch a shutout. But I'm not going to freak out about it because it is what it is. It is what it happens. I mean, every team in America has stuff like that. Like Alabama plays really good teams, they'll give up something like that. It's a freak play, and we'll get over and move on, learn from it. But there were some people in my live chat, and they were freaking out. They're like, this defense is incompetent. We can't tackle. Like, guys, what are we doing here? We're still winning by 50 points. It's not that big of a deal. It would have been nice to have a shutout. Sure. It would have been nice, but it is what it is. We need to tackle the running back of the opposing team. Yep. Penn State only up 10 points versus Nova. Yeah, I'm watching on my laptop over here. Kind of. I'm kind of watching. It's on my screen. Yeah, only up 10. Penn State, I will say this, and I'll talk about them because we play them on the schedule. They are very clearly a really, really good team. But like if you've watched their first 2 games and now this third game, they're not ever blowing out opponents. Like they should be winning by 70 every game, and they're not. So they're not playing up to their potential. Why do you think Jacory takes so many shots in every game? Well, I mean, he's skinny. It's skinny. So when he gets hit normally, it looks like it's a big hit because he's so skinny. But I don't know. It's also because of the position he plays. He's a slot receiver. And when you're a slot receiver and you're taking slants, you're taking jet sweeps, you're more prone to take a big shot over the middle than rather, a wide receiver X who's only taking deep shots or, playing on the boundaries, right? So it's a different position. How good are we at man coverage? We've done a really good job with our starters in man coverage, but today we definitely struggled in man coverage with some of our depth pieces, right? Like, Donnie had a really tough time in man. Jameer was okay in man at times. Rex Guthrie had a tough time in man, right? So our depth pieces aren't very good, but as for our starters, I'm really impressed with our starters in man coverage. Besides Hartzog, but Hartzog has not been good in man, which is not surprising. So Gabe Irving knocked on my door today trying to give me a new roof. Thought that was awesome. In what city? In Lincoln? That's kind of crazy, bro. Shout out to Gabe, bro. Shout out to Gabe. It's unfortunate. He transferred to Kansas State, as we all know, and he had a career-ending injury, I believe, in the spring. So that's awesome. Shout out to Gabe Irving, man. You should have bought a roof. No, I'm kidding. You should have bought a roof from him. Missouri State's beating SMU. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Lack of wide receiver separation bothered me. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I noticed it specifically in the second half where, again, TJ would have all day in the pocket and nobody would ever get open, ever. And he would have to run for about 5 or 10 yards, right? Or he would have to make something happen on nothing. Happened with Dylan too. I definitely agree. Our wide receivers didn't get enough separation, specifically against man coverage. And it was mostly our depth pieces. Like it was mostly the Keelan Smiths of the world, the Quinn Clarks of the world, even Cortez at times, right? So that's something they need to continue to work on, get separation in man, because we were not good enough there. He said, okay, in Manhattan, he was knocking on your door. I see. Good for him, though, man. Good for him. All right, guys, put your final thoughts in here. I'm losing my voice. I've been live for about 5 hours on this channel, so I got to get my voice back because I got to record tonight. I'll rewatch the game tonight. We'll go over everything. Then we'll transition over to Michigan. So put all your final stuff in your in the comment section. What are we at likewise? What are we at likewise here? We are at 64 likes. Can we get up to 80? Can we get up to 80? Let's hit that like button on the stream, everybody. Put your final stuff in here. Again, we'll go for as long as you guys have stuff to talk about or as long as my voice will prevail. I was kind of pissed Dylan underthrew that first bomb in Dane. Yeah, exactly. That was a bad ball. Bad ball. Again, against a team like Michigan, that ball is going to get picked off. Simply put. So that can't happen. 24-20 over Michigan. I like it. I could see it. What do you think about TJ to Cortez deep bomb? It was awesome. I mean, obviously, great double move by Cortez to get open. Love that pass by TJ, right in the numbers. Dynamic duo, man. And I'm happy. I'm very, very happy that Cortez's first receiving touchdown was from TJ, and it was in that magnitude. Like that's a play he's never going to forget. Like a 50-yard bomb. That was awesome. So shout out to Cortez, man. Who do you got tonight? Crawford, Canelo. I obviously am rooting for Crawford, as you guys know, but it's a tough fight. Canelo is a different beast, man. He's a different beast. And Crawford almost lost his last fight, so that's why I'm kind of nervous about it. But I don't want to predict. I'll say Crawford, but it'll be tough. Appreciate you. I love listening to you. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'm gonna butcher your name. Grillox Place. Thank you so much for your support as always, my man. All right, again, put your final stuff in here. Looks like everybody is kind of mellow for the day. Again, final parting thoughts. A win's a win's a win, you know, and people are going to downplay this, and I myself downplay this, but as Nebraska fans, we always know that wins never come easy in this league, in the Big Ten specifically. Okay, wins do not come easy. So as Husker fans, we need to celebrate it. We need to enjoy it. We need to be happy about it. And again, we will turn the page on Monday, right? Well, look, obviously we'll go over my final thoughts tomorrow. I'll release a video as always around 10 o'clock Central tomorrow morning. I'll rewatch the game. We'll go over the specifics, the film, who did well, who didn't. And then we'll turn the page going to Monday and we'll get ready for one of the biggest weeks, Michigan week, right? That could define not only the rest of the season, but Matt Rhule's tenure. So never take games for granted. A win's a win's a win's a win. A dominating win at that. We did a lot of good things today. There's things we need to clean up. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But again, I appreciate you guys as always. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Watch some college football. Watch some NFL tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves. Stay easy. Keep it easy. And we'll talk about Michigan, man. Getting excited for that one, but it's going to be a big week. Big week on the channel. But again, appreciate you guys rocking with me as always. Hitting the like button on the stream, subscribing, commenting, putting bell notifications on. I never talk about bell notifications, but if you have bell notifications on, that's a huge benefit. So whenever I drop breaking news, inside scoops, analysis, reactions, whatever, you know instantly when I release. So again, if you haven't put that bell notification on, might as well put it on because it helps the channel out. All right, last things in here. Do you see all announcers thought Nebraska would go 10-2? I did not see that. That's great, though. That's awesome. Again, we're starting to get respect. I love that. All right, guys. My voice is gone. I got to get out of here. I got to drink up some water because my voice is cooked. My voice is cooked. So I got to get out of here, boys. Everybody, have a great night. Enjoy yourselves as always. Go Big Red. Go Matt Rhule. And I will see you in the next one. Okay, I will see you guys now. Bye-bye.